because most of the other expansions do not have turret room, and so we want to make sure that this has at least a little bit. And since, again, I don't really want to have to worry about the island, so they're a little farther forward. I mean, you should be worrying about turret room when you're facing Zerg, and thus we shouldn't be worrying about the siege tank range inhibiting turrets over here, because that would not happen. It's, you know, a Zerg would not be building turrets, usually. Anyway, it would be a very weird matchup. Okay, so 6 and a geyser. 6, and how did I place that one? That one was about 2 tiles down. Okay. So yeah, now we've got this right here. And we will be putting in rocky ground, like I said, but in the meantime we'll throw in some mud and make it look a little nicer, or just a little less all dirt. I'm not saying that all mud looks nice. In fact, I'm being very lazy with this, and I could have created it on Badlands as much as jungle, really, because you're not really seeing any temple or jungle, but whatever. Okay, so right now we're going to do some little decoration-like things that have really nothing to do with how the map is actually going to play, but are going to do with how the map looks. And this is how we're doing it. This. I just realized my hypercam might have been turned off and I could have been talking to myself this whole time. But no, it is on, and I'm very glad it's on. Because if I had to do this again, I'd probably say fuck it, and you people aren't worth the time, which was my original concern about this. I'm like, damn, are they even gonna watch this video? And I don't know if I can edit this audio later, but I might have to, because it's rather mean-spirited, and I wanted this to be a rather friendly guide, but you know what happens when I try to be friendly, it just doesn't work. So anyway, convert those to terrain, and we're going to do some extended ramps. Now this is why we have this file. This file is for if you are lazy, which I am, and I'm not looking to do my ramps custom right now. So we select these, and you have to make sure you have all your tiles and everything you need. And that's one too short, so we need to go one up longer, like this one. And again, just make sure you have the right tiles, make sure you're not putting any into the cliff or anything, or making any stupid blocky mistakes that you will later have me yell at you later about. Next we'll go, and we'll get the ones from this direction. And if you hold shift while you're doing this, that's how I've been selecting multiple stuff, like that. Okay. Nope, this one's a bit longer. So, in case you're wondering why we're making all these ramps interconnected, it is because making the ramps interconnected loosens up the map and effectively makes Terran a little less effective. And since we're going to be using rocky dirt on top of these, or rather around these, I shouldn't say on top of, because you might get the idea that I was going to throw rocky dirt all over the ramps, which would not happen because ramps are not buildable anyway, but you should know that. What we're actually going to be doing is that with the rocky ground and the openness of the map, we are hoping that Terran will not have much of an advantage, and thus will be balanced. Terran is very versatile, and that's why you have to worry about if they are balanced or not, and if they are going to fuck up your map. Most maps have the problem of being Terran or Zerg favoring. Protoss are not very versatile, and they do have problems when mapping, and it's very hard to think about them in balance. I myself am very bad at balancing for Protoss, so don't feel bad if you can't balance for them. But generally speaking, if you don't allow Terran or Zerg any huge advantage, the Protoss will probably be okay. Okay, and let's see, how big is our main to natural right now? Because I may not like it. 2 barracks or 2 command centers, or however you want to measure it wide. That's a little wider than I'd like, but I guess it's okay. I do want to go like that, and like that. So yeah, you'll see I'm just playing with the mud patterns here right now, because, you know, you shouldn't have all your mud being all everywhere and everything, because then it just looks like you did what I did and just threw the ISOM tool around a bit. making diagonals is a nice way to make designs. Alright. So that's it for our mains. Okay, so now we've got mud around and we just need to do our backwards ramps, and then we're going to have to make the middle unbuildable, which is another thing I'm going to show you how to do without making it look like shit, because that's something that I even had problems with for a while. No, I think we're this size for this one. Okay, and again, holding shift, just so that we can select all of this nice, extended terrain that somebody was nice enough to do for us. I'll be including a link on where to get that map over at broodwarmaps.net. They're great melee makers. They make us lots of nice things, and you should definitely get a registration on the site so you can go over there and participate in a wonderful community that makes maps 10 times better than us over at Sun. Just saying, they do. Okay, I believe it's one shorter over here. But we'll see, I could be wrong. Oh, that looks about right. Okay, so we've got our ramps, and we don't really have much of a design going on up here. So what we're going to do is we're going to make some high ruins, and just make it so that the map is a little less boring. And again, diagonals are very good ways to make designs. I highly recommend them. Then we'll take our jungle. No, we want high jungle. That's a mistake I make a lot, where I forget that we're working with a high version of a terrain rather than just whatchamacallit, normal jungle, or whatever the terrain is. Okay. We don't want to put a lot of doodads up here because this is going to be a very high traffic area. You generally want to put doodads around low traffic areas, but we will place a couple of them here. And I believe that's about it. Yeah, that looks... No, I don't... Let's see, where is that? There's the little face doodad that I like to include, but we're going to have to put a little more ruins up here to incorporate. High ruins! Blast it. There. So, see, that is about right. That's a little too high up. And what we'll probably wind up doing is putting in 2 of them, maybe. That one, and that one. Actually, like, if I could move them a square. See, this is just design stuff. This is not gonna matter. I just like if my middle looks a little bit more like I didn't just slap it together, even though I did. There we go. Always be careful, because if you hold down the mouse while clicking doodads, SEM Draft will put them everywhere, and that does not really look very nice. Okay, so we've got our basic little thing up here. We may want to put a little more high jungle over here and here. Be careful that you don't wind up bulldozing your ramps with your ISOM tool, because then you're going to have to do them later. And most tiles, I mean, if you I think I might have changed a few up here. That doesn't really matter, but you want to make sure your main ramp has all of its nice tiles that it needs to be correct for height, balance, and movement. That's another thing. You will find custom ramps that do look better than some of the ones that you'll see me using. They'll have not so blocky edges like that, but when it comes to actual unit pathing and height advantage for the actual balance of the map, it's a very good thing to have. So I'm going to be turning off this recording, and all you're going to really see in the finished product that I did not do here is going to be the annoying, painstaking use of the... Oh, we forgot a ramp, see? The painstaking use of the rectangular tool to make rocky dirt all over this map so that it effectively becomes balanced. I will be making this unbuildable, and again, you'll see all of that in the final copy. You will be able to give me questions both in the comments of this video on YouTube as well as on Sen when I post the topic for it. I hope this has been a little more helpful for you to not create such god-awful maps, and I hope I will not have to yell at you guys as much as I do right now. So I'm going to save this, I'm going to turn off this recording, and you will see the finished product later. Thank you.